Welcome back to Hot Rod High School. In today's episode, we are going to be patching a tire that has a hole in it. So we have a very obvious one here today where it doesn't take a lot of diagnostics to find out that yes, there's your problem. If it was a small piece of debris and we just had a slow leak, what I've found a lot of the times is I'll be doing like an oil change in a vehicle, and I'll be running around and checking all of the tire pressures while the oil's draining out. And if I got 32 psi on the first 3 tires and I check the 4th tire and that one's down at say 20-25 psi, that's going to be a dead giveaway that it probably has a slow leak. It probably has a piece of debris that is causing that leak. And so then I'm going to give it a quick spin. I'm going to go through and try and find out where the leak is. Like I said, on this one here, we got a very obvious leak. But if it's a much smaller piece of debris, or maybe it's down somewhere inside the tread where you can't really see it, one thing that works good is you just get some soapy water, spray it around, and then wherever the bubbles start forming, that's where your leak is. Make sure you, as well, that you go over to the Schrader valve and spray around the Schrader valve. A faulty Schrader valve is another very common leak source. So we already have this tire removed from the rim. We've done lots of videos on removing tires from the rim, so take a look at any of those if you need to get through to this point here. And now we're going to go through and mark out where the debris is. One thing that I've done here is I made sure to leave the debris in the tire, marking the place where the leak was, because I don't want to pull that out, have the rubber seal over it, and now I'm not able to find it anymore once the tire is removed. So because we have the debris right here left in place, I'm going to mark that location before I get started with the patch. So I'm going to go through, just mark that location, both on the outside and, more importantly, on the inside, because that's where our patch is going to actually end up going. So now we have it marked out, and we can begin the process of actually doing our patch, which is going to start off with us removing the debris. The screw like this, sometimes if it's not damaged, you can actually use a screwdriver to get it out. Most times though, the road is going to have ground away all the top of it, and you're going to be needing to get a pair of pliers or something to get the debris out of there. So we got this tire spreader bar, and we'll take out the area that we marked off where the hole is, and we're going to have that go down facing the tire bar here. We're then going to take the hooks, hook it over the edge of the tire bead, same with the other side. We'll open that up. So that spreads out the tire right here and gives us a nice easy workspace where we can identify where the hole is and be able to put the patch onto it. So I'm going to take out the tire patch from my kit here. I'm going to lay it down over where the hole is sitting and then just trace around it with my chalk. In this area right here, we can see where the hole had existed prior, was right here, and now we know the area that we got to prepare for our patch. What I'm going to do to prepare is I got to take off these little ribs that are inside here to make one flat area. Also, the inner lining of this tire has like this slick film over it, and I need to get rid of just that first layer of that film so that the vulcanizing cement can actually meet up with the rubber so that I can get the patch to adhere to it. If you go too deep, it'll expose these little white bands. I might actually dig too deep in a different section of the tire here to show you guys what those white bands look like. If you go that far, if you go that deep into the tire, that's it. The tire's garbage. You got to throw it away. Also, important to note as well, so it has to be inside the tread. That's the only place where we can patch the tire, is in here. Anything outside, anything down here, is a no-go zone. We cannot patch a sidewall. The flex in the side of the tire when it goes around corners will cause it to explode pretty quickly there. So only if it's in the tread line can we actually do that tire patch. And if you're, if it's in the margins over here, if it's way over here, if you're guessing about it, get a new tire. Don't repair that tire. So only in the tread can we put on a tire patch. We are going to repair this area, so we're going to prep up this area right here and just remove that first layer of rubber and take off these little ribs so that they're flattened down. So we can still tell here where the hole is, the actual part that we're trying to patch and cover up. This is what the prep surface should look like before we apply the adhesive to it. And I do want to I'm going to take a different spot a little over here and show you what it looks like when you dig too deep with our tire buffer. You can see right here, and it only takes a second or two if I'm going too fast, pushing too hard. Those little white cords that are showing through right there, we gone too deep, this tire would be garbage. This tire was garbage anyway, so that's why we're just doing a demo with it. But yeah, that's what you're looking to avoid. You go down that deep, you gone too far, tire has to be replaced. Sometimes you get a little tire patch kit that has a small amount of that vulcanizing cement in it. Since we have whole classrooms of kids doing a bunch of tire patches, we always get the larger size containers of it. Same exact stuff. And people always think of this stuff as being glue. It's not. It is vulcanizing cement, so it actually is going to eat into the rubber slightly. It's also going to eat into the rubber on the tire patch. And so once these two have been forced down into each other and set up all the way, that little chemical reaction is going to really basically do a set of rubber welding and weld these two components together. So we'll take this this backing off of our tire patch here. We'll take and center that up over the area that had the puncture. And now we're going to take this little roller here, roll it out flat, and make sure to get any air pockets, air bubbles, or anything out of there. And the perforations on it are going to really push down into the tire patch to help mold and seal so that this tire and this tire patch are just one unit. So some people will tell you to take more of this vulcanizing cement and spread it over the outside top of that too. I've never really found that it made any difference. If you feel like doing that, go for it. It ain't gonna hurt anything. But for me personally, this patch is on there, it's secure, it's gonna hold up just fine. So at this point, I would now make sure to note where it is, so it looks like our previous marking of where the hole was has faded away, so I'd make sure to go and find that again and remark it. And then now I'm going to go through and reinstall the tire onto the rim, and then I'm going to go over to that point where I did my tire patch and spray it down again and make sure if there's any bubbles showing up there, that means that my patch job failed and I'm either going to have to redo it or finally say, okay, it's time to replace this tire. Thanks for watching another episode of Hot Rod High School. If your school doesn't offer an auto shop class or you're a homeschooler, we've got the thing for you. That's right, introducing our first ever Auto Shop in a Box. Specifically designed for students between 5th and 12th grade. Our kits include the engine rebuild, the brake line flare, precision measurement, valve adjustment, and an award-winning curriculum. Click the link in the description below to learn more on our website and purchase your kit today, which will be shipped directly to your home. But don't worry, it's not coming in this thing. You can like and subscribe if you want to. It doesn't make a difference to me. But what does make a difference is you shifting your education into high gear with Hot Rod High School. Thanks for watching.